Hi everyone! I'm going to be reviewing the article, How to Preempt Team Conflict, found in the June 2016 issue of Harvard Business Review. This article presents suggestions to preventing team conflict from occurring in the workplace. As we all know, there can be healthy and unhealthy forms of team conflict. These can lead to either very productive working teams or very destructive teams. The goal of this article is to guide those in managerial positions to be proactive regarding team conflict prior to the team working together, rather than the conventional approach of responding as conflict arises or waiting for clear evidence of a conflict before addressing it. This article coincides with chapters 9, 11, and 14 in our text, focused on interpersonal communication, group dynamics in work teams, and conflict and negotiation. The authors of this article focus on the use of a proactive approach that surfaces the differences between team members before a team starts working together. The authors developed and tested a methodology that focuses on 5 areas: how people look, act, speak, think, and feel. The team leaders facilitate a series of 20 to 30-minute conversations, encouraging members of the team to express their preference and expectation in each area. The leaders then focus on any areas that they may foresee issues arising, and come up with suggestions on how those with differing expectations can work together in a productive manner. Through these getting to know you sessions, team members establish a foundation of trust and understanding and are able to set ground rules for effective collaboration. Although finding the time for these sessions may seem like a burdensome task, the authors have found that it's a worthwhile investment of time for any team that will be working together for an extended period. 20 to 30 minutes is well worth preventing months or even years of destructive team conflict. There is no special training for the facilitators of these discussions. Managers have been found to master conflict prevention skills more easily than skills required for conflict resolution. It's important to start the conversations off properly, so make sure everyone in the group feels included and explain why you're initiating the discussions. The manager explains that the discussions will be focused on the process of work right now, rather than the content of the work. The manager also needs to touch on the fact that this is a preventative measure, to get the differences out on the table and out of the way right now while the pressures are off, so they don't cause unproductive conflict in the future. Encourage everyone to begin statements with "in my world" and questions with "in your world." This is a way to ask clarifying, non-judgmental questions of one another. The answers can explain to team members the reasoning behind their behavior or their approach to how they work. The first of the 5 conversations would be the look conversation. The questions listed on the slide are examples of those that would be asked. In your world, what makes a good first impression? What makes a bad one? What do you notice first about others? Their dress, their speech, or their demeanor? What does that make you think about them? Are they rigid, pushy, or lazy? What intangible credentials do you value? Your education, your experience, or your social connections? And how do you perceive status differences? For example, an executive who is used to wearing a suit and tie every day to work joins an advertising group within the company, where the normal dress is business casual. During this portion of the team discussion, one of his colleagues told him that by him wearing a suit and tie all the time, it's as though he perceives himself as special or above the rest of the team, and that creates distance between them. The second of the 5 conversations is the act conversation. Questions such as, in your world, how important is punctuality and time limits? Are there consequences of being late or missing deadlines? What's a comfortable physical distance for interacting in the workplace? Should people volunteer for assignments or wait to be nominated? What group behaviors are valued? Helping others or not complaining? On diverse teams, clashing behavioral norms are common sources of trouble. Things that seem trivial can have a negative impact, aggravating stereotypes, alienating people, and disrupting the flow of communication. Issues like these, such as personal space, being punctual and respecting other people's schedules, differing attitudes about the importance of deadlines, can often stir up conflict. Understanding where everyone stands prior to working together can prevent any issues from occurring. The third of the 5 conversations is the speak conversation. Communication styles have many dimensions, and for the possibilities of misunderstandings can be endless. Language barriers are not the only challenge. Things such as an inflection in someone's voice or the use of a word in context could mean something completely different from one person to the next. Asking questions such as, in your world, is a promise an aspiration or a guarantee? Which is most important, directness or harmony? Are irony and sarcasm appreciated? Do interruptions signal interest or rudeness? Does silence mean reflection or disengagement? Should dissenting views be aired in public or discussed offline? Is unsolicited feedback welcome? Breaking down these barriers from the beginning can pave the way for easier communication between team members. The fourth conversation is the think conversation. One of the biggest sources of conflict on teams stems from the way in which members think about the work they're doing. Varying personalities and experience cause team members to take different approaches to problem solving and decision making. Asking questions such as these can keep everyone on the same page and working together productively. In your world, is uncertainty viewed as a threat or an opportunity? What's more important, the big picture or the details? Is it better to be reliable or flexible? What is the attitude toward failure? How do people tolerate deviations from the plan? The fifth and final conversation is the feel conversation. There can be a vast difference between team members in the intensity of their feelings, how they convey passion in a group, and the way they manage their emotions in the face of disagreement or conflict. Negative feelings can be a sensitive issue to approach, so it helps to talk about the kind of context team members are used to. Questions such as, in your world, what emotions, positive and negative, are acceptable and unacceptable to display in a business context? How do people express anger or enthusiasm? How would you react if you were annoyed with a teammate? With silence, body language, humor, or through a third party? Team members need to be aware that withdrawal, sarcasm, and secretly complaining can be just as damaging to the team as intimidation and volatile outbursts. The authors have found numerous benefits to heading off conflict before it becomes destructive, such as greater team participation, improved creativity, and smarter decision making. Getting to know your team members on a different level allows for a genuine sense of valuing each other's contributions. Thank you so much for listening, and I appreciate any comments or feedback you have. I hope you all have a great day.